G'day legends, Blake here with another video, and guppies are definitely one of the most awesome aquarium fish that you can possibly keep. Now, heaps of people across the world keep guppies, and I think the major reason for that is because they're super easy to breed. However, a lot of people do struggle with this and report mixed success. So for today's video, I'm going to run you through how to maximize your guppy output. Let's jump straight into the video. Whether you've been in the hobby for 5 minutes or 50 years, guppies is something that come across, I think, everybody's fish tank at one point or another, and I'm no different. Here in the fish room, I do have this tank of guppies here, which actually was sent to me via a subscriber. But outside of guppies, I do have a bunch of other live bearers. Tend to favor these endless live bearers, for example. So throughout the rest of this video, if you're not looking at these guys, you'll probably be looking at an endler. However, all of these things can pretty much be said about any of the live bearers, including swordtails, platies, and mollies and so forth. Now, as with any fish that you're hoping to breed, it's really important to make sure that you've got a male and female first and foremost, and luckily with guppies, this is super easy to do. Males are going to be smaller and more colorful, females are going to be larger, more dull, but also a lot rounder. But with that said, there's a much more scientific way to tell the difference, and that is by checking their reproductive organs. Males at the base of their body, about the midpoint along, they're going to have a pistol-shaped fin, something like that, which is called a gonopodium. Females are a bit different. They're going to have more of a triangular wedge-like fin, which is going to be a little bit more obvious when I put a diagram here on the screen somewhere. This develops, I'd suggest, at about the sort of 1 inch size or 2.5 centimeter size. So don't be afraid if all your fry that do eventually come out look like all females, because they might look a bit more male later on. Then once you know what you're looking for, and I'd recommend doing that, especially if you're going to go into a big box store to pick out your stock, although it's always best if it comes from a local breeder or a specialized local fish store, you can at least be sure that they're giving you what you want, and that is a ratio of 1 male to every 2 females. Reason for that is that male guppies are like rabbits. They only have one thing on their brain, and that is to breed over and over again. You can see here this poor female is already pregnant, and the male guppy is still just trying to breed and breed and breed. So you want to have more females so that you can spread out this sexual appetite. It will also help you to have more fry that way as well, because male guppies can impregnate lots of female guppies, but a female guppy can only get pregnant once. So if you have, in theory, more and more and more, like one male guppy to 10 females, for example, you're likely to just have a lot more fry than if it was the 1 to 2 ratio, but that's the minimum. Now, once you have your males and females ready to go, it's time to start to think about housing them. And I really like this profile tank in particular. This is a 65-liter aquarium. I think typically in America, they're labeled 20-gallon tanks. They're about 2 foot long by sort of 20 centimeters wide, something like that. I think it holds enough water volume that it can put up with a few babies here and there. As long as you have lots of fresh, clean water, a nice filter, heat if you don't have a heated fish room, and I also think it's really critical to put in a piece of limestone. Here's some examples of what I mean. Typically it's sold as Texas Holy Rock or Base Rock from saltwater aquarium stores. These guys are going to help to keep the water nice and hard, which is what guppies really, really love. I see it time and time again when I'm trying to help out people reaching out to me that they're going to buy guppies and never having success with it. It's because, like me, they have soft tap water, which means a lower pH, lower GH, lower KH, and the guppies are just fading away out of existence. Guppies really like hard water. You can even add salt if you like, but for me, I find it nice and stable to drop a big piece of limestone in there and forget about it. And the last thing that I think is absolutely critical is live aquarium plants. This one here is particularly good, and it should be a hint because it's called Nahas grass, aka guppy grass. It's absolutely perfect because it grows really fast. It floats to the top, which is where those babies are going to hang out. We'll touch on this a little bit later. And it's just beautiful. So I have it growing all over the place, and I have some here in a shrimp tank just in case I want to pull some out and put it in a new guppy tank and not accidentally mix in some fry from other guppy strains that I have. And that kind of segues us into conditioning, which is where I want to touch back on guppies hanging out at the top of the aquarium. A lot of people consider guppies to be a bit more of a mid-water fish, but in my experience, they always want to just hang at the top of the tank. That's why I like to have floating plants like guppy grass. Water lettuce is also a great one to help have your fry survival rate really increase. But the other one is conditioning your fry with awesome foods and conditioning your breed stock with awesome foods as well. And for that, I think there's one thing that is absolutely unbeatable. Brine shrimp is fantastic because brine shrimp want to swim up to the light, which is typically at the top of the tank where all your babies are, where all your adults are, and everyone's getting a nice feed of the best live food that you can give your fish. Okay, so let's say that you're at this stage now, you got both males and female guppies, you're conditioning well with live baby brine shrimp and other high quality foods, you got live plants on the go helping to keep the nitrates down and providing awesome places for your fry to hide. You've even got some fry happening, but you hope to really increase that output. And that's where I think with some fine tuning and tinkering, you can really increase your numbers quite easily. The first one I'd say is, are your broodstock actually high quality and healthy? Unfortunately, these days you can see females with bent spines and really skinny females that are full of internal parasites. You can see ones that just aren't swimming right. Maybe they have an S-shaped curve in their spine. All sorts of things. So really have a critical look at your males and females, your adults, and make sure that they're in tip-top condition for breeding to get started with. The next problem that you might be having is that the adults are having the fry and the fry are escaping from them. However, the sort of medium-sized adolescent siblings of those new babies are a bit faster, a bit more agile, and might be hunting them down. It might be time to think at that point to start to separate some fry out. It's going to help to grow them faster because they're going to get more food as a result and probably lower the likelihood of predation. It might be time to consider what temperature you're keeping your fish at. Guppies, if they're kept in a higher temperature, say 27, 28 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit will be on the screen here somewhere, then they're likely to have a faster metabolism, grow a little bit faster, and breed a little bit more. That said, they're probably going to shorten their lifespan at that point, so if you are attached to one or two particular guppies, then that can be a factor in making that decision. But as a general rule, if you want to have them producing more guppies a lot faster, you can keep them at a higher temperature and you will achieve that. And last but not least, what other factors are in the tank that may be affecting the guppies' abilities to procreate? For example, I really like the combo of guppies, plecos, and cherry shrimp because they all breed within the same tank. However, what I would find is that when the plecos would have a big batch of fry or the shrimp would have a big batch of shrimplets, then there'd be less guppies as a result because at a certain tipping point, the water parameters start to fail when everybody's producing maximum quantity of babies in there. So nature kind of has a way to balance itself out. And I find that if you reduce the numbers, then they'll make more fish because the tank is more capable of keeping up with that. Or if you have other fish in the tank that maybe got a little bit bigger and now guppy fry is starting to look like more of a snack, that could also be a factor as well. But overall, if you're able to provide a good environment for your fish, you have healthy brood stock, and you have a place for those fry to escape, you should find that you're quickly creating heaps and heaps and heaps of baby guppies for you, your friends, other hobbyists, whoever to enjoy. So hopefully this video has helped. If it has, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Leave your comments below if you got any questions. And other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.